jet use and ironic for monstrosity that will make it rain. Well, this ain't a golden Amazon town, like the from above. They ride our trail, others create. We will be there. These old buildings, Amazon town, Amazon town. Hi, so my name's Ken Signorello, and I'm here for two reasons. Number one, I'm the chairperson of the town's Conservation and Trails Committee, and we advise the DRB about applications. That's one of the reasons I'm here, and I'm also here, of course, as a town resident. I live here in Essex. And generally speaking, this application that's before the board tonight is one that's in a zone known as the RPDI, which stands for Resource Preservation District Industrial, which does allow some light industrial uses. The application that's going to be put forth tonight is larger scale than makes good sense. One of the regulations for this district is that things have to be kept in harmony with nature, which this doesn't seem to do. There's requirements for buffers, which the Conservation and Trails Committee has recommended be preserved, and the applicant is asking for them to be waived. So we have some issues there. In general, it's not to scale for this district. It seems like it's something that's more appropriate for a regular industrial district, not something that makes sense in an RP, Resource Preservation District.
I'm an Essex resident. I live on Route 15. I brought here an example of my whole house air filter that I'm fortunate enough to afford. I live right by the Price Chopper, next to the Essex Discount Beverage. And as you can see from a MERV 14 filter, that is 5 to 6 months worth of cleaning the air, because we have no setback. I'm right on the road. I'm also here because I don't believe that the Amazon project, is in compliance with their town plan. And for Act 250, it requires compliance with their town plan. There's 10 criteria for meeting the Act 250 permit that they've applied for. And for our town plan, what they break is that on page 8 in our town plan, development shall be consistent with Essex's role as a sub-regional growth center, with a scale of development supportable by a market derived from Essex and surrounding communities. This standard is not met given the current housing crisis that has left local employers unable to find adequate staffing. Help-wanted signs throughout Saxon Hill demonstrate that our local economy cannot support additional large-scale development when existing businesses are already struggling to survive. On page 10 of our town plan, section 2, economic growth shall be diversified. The proposed parcel development does not meet the diversity goals from Amazon, as it duplicates existing services and pay and benefit ranges already abundant in Essex, while potentially harming existing delivery employers and other employers in that pay range. Page 12, section 2, S2, in our town plan, transportation system related decisions shall include consideration how those decisions may support or hinder our economic development goals. The current proposal fails this requirement, as our public works, police, and fire departments are experiencing critical staffing shortages, driving up property taxes while leaving us unable to maintain current infrastructure needs. It's just getting more and more unaffordable because we can't keep up. This proposal also creates a liability exposure under Act 250's 10 criteria, which requires the projects to be, quote, in conformance with any duly adopted local or regional plan, unquote. The mandatory provisions of our town plan using shall language guide the District Environmental Commission's decision, and this proposal fails multiple requirements. The submitted traffic study is fundamentally flawed and inadequate, as it underestimates work vehicle traffic, as there are significantly more parking spaces than accounted for in the study. It does not consider impacts to our concentration of schools by Saxon Hill, or the traffic that will add to Route 15 by the many vans and box trucks sure to use Sand Hill when they can't use 117. In 2021, An O'Leary traffic study recorded 17,126 vehicles per day along Route 15 right in front of my house. And this was done during COVID. So imagine what those vehicle traffic numbers are now. Residents along Route 15 and 117 are experiencing measurably decreased quality of life impacts due to the increased noise, diesel fumes, and brake dust. Scientific studies confirm these pollutants literally shorten lives. This is not hyperbole, but documented fact that has led to successful lawsuits in California. This lot sits above 60% slopes of very sandy, fine sandy loam, contributing to fluvial erosion directly above the FEMA flood zone on River Road. The proposed loss of mature trees and the required 50-foot buffer, excuse me while I turn my page, exacerbate erosion, phosphorus runoff from impervious surfaces, and 117 North Wilson Road flooding. North Wilson Road has been identified by our regional as an important north-south regional traffic corridor as it connects to some major industrial areas, which again counters our town plan. Resource preservation zoning. In the zoning, Section 214A, the purpose of the RPDI is to carry out development activities in harmony with the natural surroundings. The proposed buffer waiver and above-ground utilities proposed directly contradict this mandate. Buffer requirements, Section 2149, applicants must explain why waivers are necessary. Given the adequate lot area available, shrinking the building envelope would eliminate the need for any buffer waiver, making the request unnecessary under the regulations. The proposal fails to address the June 2019 Essex Community Energy Plan requirements, as it offers no EV charging stations despite being strategically located near large employers, and increases auto dependency in an area that has now lost bus service. Our development continues to outpace our capital plan, driving unsustainable property tax increases that exceed our average annual income growth year over year. If adding businesses reduced my property tax impacts, we would already see my reduction by now. Instead, the burden continues to grow. I respectfully urge DRB members to vote no.
So my name is Jackie Lawler, and I'm here because the DRB should be focusing on projects that help the community instead of Amazon, who is known to exploit workers. There have been many injuries at Amazon facilities, and there have even been deaths. For this facility in particular, most of the workers will be third-party contractors, and they won't get benefits or the pay that they deserve. Amazon also spends billions of dollars on anti-union consultants every year. They also get millions of dollars of subsidies from the government, and we don't need someone like that here in Vermont. We should protect our workers, and this is the way to do it.
I'm here tonight because for our community, I don't think Amazon is going to be supportive of anything that we stand for, any of our values. It's really an organization that's out to exploit workers and to care nothing about the environment or the people, entirely focused on making profit. And Essex has stated repeatedly, as in our planning and in our meetings, that the values of this community support local businesses and diversity, and really creating a community that enables everybody to live healthy, prosperous lives. And Amazon's not going to support that in any way.
Yeah, so I'm here. I live in Essex, not too far away from the proposed site of the Amazon facility, and I just have so many concerns, both due to Amazon's history of exploiting and abusing its workers. I actually worked in an Amazon facility for about a month, and I think it's important to say that I worked as a contractor. Almost nobody in the facility actually worked for Amazon, but they use a lot of contract labor so they can more easily fire people and not have to offer them health insurance and things along those lines. I'm also just concerned about the impact on local businesses. I know that Amazon's goal is basically to grow and expand their market share into every aspect of the economy and take more business away from the people who are already struggling to make things happen here locally. And yeah, no, I'm also not psyched about the traffic aspect of it. It's not like the biggest priority, but it's going to be unfortunate to have to get around near where I live and bring my kid and drop them off to school when there's so many of these vans driving around everywhere. So.
I'm here because I have a lot of family and friends in Quebec, specifically Montreal, where Amazon just this past January closed a bunch of their facilities in an attempt to union bust because the Montreal Amazon facility formed a union. And Canada's labor laws are better than the United States labor laws. And I don't want the people of Essex or anyone in Vermont to be exploited by Amazon because the people of Canada refuse to be exploited by Amazon. I think the people here in Vermont and everywhere deserve opportunities for employment with dignity, and Amazon has shown us repeatedly that they do not care about the dignity or even the lives of their workers, and so we deserve better here in Essex.
On behalf of the Montreal Amazon Workers Committee and the Immigrant Workers Center, thank you for the opportunity to speak today. Just across the border in Montreal, only 2 hours from here, Amazon shut down all of its operations on January 22nd, 2025, leaving 4,500 workers without jobs, without income, without warning. Many of us were injured on the job, some permanently. Amazon didn't close because of economic hardship. It closed because workers began organizing, demanding their rights. The right to unionize, the right to health and safety protections, the right to be treated with dignity. And for that, Amazon walked away. Now, Amazon wants to open a massive warehouse here in Vermont, not to invest in your community, but to avoid the labor protections and growing worker resistance in Quebec. The same pattern will follow: low wages, unsafe conditions, high turnover, and a complete lack of accountability. When Amazon opened in Quebec, it received government subsidies, below-market electricity rates, and public support. In return, it left behind economic devastation, the largest mass layoff in recent Quebec history. This is not investment, it's extraction. We are not here to tell Vermont what to do, but to share what we lived through, and to urge you to look beyond Amazon's promises. Their business model depends on disposability of workers, of communities, of entire regions. What happened to us can happen to you. We urge you to stand up now, before the warehouse is built, before it's too late. Demand protections for workers. Demand that Amazon be held accountable. Let Vermont be a place where labor rights are respected and not bypassed. That was a statement from a worker in Quebec who was laid off by Amazon.
Hey, I'm Joanna Grossman, and I'm with Phoenix Books. I'm the Community Relations Manager. And we're out here today talking to folks about the proposal for Amazon to come to Essex. We're really concerned for the small business community. Every small retailer in Vermont, and really everywhere, is being threatened by online retailers. And we've done our best to coexist for all this time. And now they're kind of escalating the situation, and they're coming into our backyard, and we're doing our best to protect ourselves and to protect small businesses here in Vermont.
This economic development is going to bring jobs. What do you have to say to that?
Well, it depends on
Watershed.
Hey everybody,
Hi.
Location.
Hi.
How many people are there? You ask them to put their hands up, and then you can determine, reasonable time so that people are heard and not angry.
Are they at least letting me the residents?
Check them out.
If residents would like to see changes in the regulations, please come and attend the Planning Commission meetings, which is where that change is heard now. Our board this evening will be finishing the public comment portion of this meeting, which was not concluded on March 20th. The original